What's going on, everybody? Jason here, and today I've got this 2022 Ford F250 Lariat. Right before we jump into this F250, if you're enjoying these types of videos, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, as it does help support the channel and it also helps with the YouTube algorithm. That being said, let's jump right into this Lariat and see what kind of different trims that you can get when it comes to the F250s. So you've got a couple of different options, such as the XL, XLT, Lariat, which you're looking at, King Ranch, Platinum, or the Limited. And I recently did do a review on the 2022 Ford F250 XLT. If you haven't seen that, I'll link that up above so you can check that out as well. When it comes to the standard safety features with this F250 Lariat, you're going to be getting blind spot monitoring with cross traffic alert and trailer coverage, pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking and forward collision warning, and your reverse sensing system. Taking a look at the front of this truck, now typically it will not look like this because standard you're going to have your full grille area full of chrome, along with your front bumpers in chrome as well. So there's going to be tons and tons of chrome on this truck. However, because this truck has the Lariat Sports Appearance Package, you'll end up getting the body color grille with the black inserts, along with your front and rear body color bumpers, which I think this looks way better than having the chrome, but it's just me, and some people actually may like having chrome than having a body color. At the bottom, you've got your standard front tow hooks, along with your standard halogen front fog lights, and you can't forget about these distinctive Ford headlights. Now these are not LED, these are just your standard halogen front headlights, and in the center of the grille you have your massive Ford badging, along with Super Duty built right into the front of the hood. Also, another extra option that this truck has are your clearance lamps. Coming over to the side of the Lariat, again, because this truck has your Lariat Sports Appearance Package, you also get your body colored side mirrors. Now standard, these mirrors are your power trailer tow mirrors, which I think is very nice to have, especially if you're using this as a work truck and you're going to be towing around a trailer all the time. Another standard thing that you get on this truck are your body color door handles. You would assume, because this truck already has a ton of chrome standard, that you would also get your door handles in chrome as well, but instead you already get them in body color. And then of course you have your Lariat F250 badging in chrome and black on both sides. As for these side steps, standard you'll have your 6-inch chrome side steps, but again, because this has the Lariat Sports Appearance Package, these will actually be your platform running boards. As for your wheels, these are the standard wheels on the F250 Lariat, which are your 18-inch bright machined aluminum wheels. And I actually don't mind these wheels because the design and everything just looks really nice on this, and it goes with the whole aesthetic of the truck. Also, you'll notice on the back you do have a Sport 4x4 decal on both sides of the bed, and this is a part of your Sports Appearance Package. As for the configuration of this particular truck, this is obviously a crew cab with your typical 6.5 foot bed and your 160-inch wheelbase. This Lariat is equipped with your optional camper package as well. Coming to the rear of the Lariat, like I mentioned in the front, and that this truck has the Lariat Sports Appearance Package, so you can see you've got your body colored rear bumper, along with your sensors built in for your reverse sensing system. And also this truck does come with your hitch at the back, of course, and above that you've got all of your plugs and wiring for your towing needs. As for your tailgates, it's a pretty clean setup. You've just got the Super Duty built right in, along with the Ford badging, and then up by your tailgate handle you've got cameras. Also, your rear taillights are just your typical taillights, of course, and then you do have your sensor in the middle there. Another thing with the Lariat Sports Appearance Package is that you have your chrome exhaust tips. Opening up the rear tailgate, as you can see, there's no spray and bed liner or any of that, but however, you can still get it whether it's from the factory or after, of course. You do have your convenient bed link system, so you can have your hooks and all of that however you need to have it in the back. Standard on the Lariat is your LED bed lighting, which is super nice to have, and it just looks nice. And then you've got your typical plugs and outlets in the back if you do want to use this as a work truck, so you have the convenience of that. And as you can see, this truck has the optional 5th wheel gooseneck hitch prep package, so if you do decide on using those, you're already prepared and your truck is ready for it. This is a pretty unique system that Ford has, and this is the optional tailgate step, so it makes getting in and out of your bed very easy, rather than having the steps on the side or the little deployable bed step. And the bar on the left side does pop up, so you can use that as a handle. This Lariat comes standard with a rear power sliding window. Again, a very convenient feature to have. And if you look above that, you do have your rear high mounted camera as well, which is an optional feature that you can get. Coming into the rear of the Lariat, you can see it's a pretty clean setup on the door trim. It's fully blacked out, other than that little piece at the top, which kind of reminds you of a marble slash wood type of a texture, along with your chrome around it. Other than that, it's a pretty simple setup. You just have a little bit storage in the center there. And then of course at the bottom, your traditional storage with some cup holder room, and then your speaker right there. With the Lariat standard, your speaker system is going to be the Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is amazing. As for inside of the truck and the rear seats, this is a pretty clean setup. You've obviously got the full leather seats with the white stitching, and regardless, these seats are still very comfortable because they're also heated seats. As for your center handrest at the back, once you pull it down, you do expose the two cup holders for the rear. Lifting up the rear seats, this is going to bring out even more storage area at the bottom. As you can see, there's a ton of room that you can utilize and put whatever you really need to, and just have it tucked away once the seats are down. As for behind the driver and passenger seats, these are fully leather back seats, which is amazing, and you also get mat pockets on both sides for that additional storage. As for the rear center console, up top, not only do you have two extra cup holders, but below that you do have a 12-volt adapter, your heated seat buttons, USB port, and a 110-volt outlet. Coming to the front of the Lariat, it's exactly like the rear, but of course at the bottom you do have a little bit more room for storage and cup holders, and you got the same room in the middle of the door trim along with a speaker. You do have memory seating for the driver's side and your typical window controls, side mirror controls, and you have more of that trim piece in brown with the chrome surrounding it. As for the front seats, exactly like the rear seats, only difference is not only are these seats heated, they're also ventilated as well, which is standard, and also standard with the Lariats. Instead of having these seats with the center console, instead you'll have the bench seating layout, so you can choose from either or. And same thing goes for the interior color. You can either get this, which is the black onyx interior, or the brown Baja interior. Also, what comes standard are your front seats are power adjustable as well. Underneath, nothing too special, just your foot pedals, your parking brake, and then you've got your parking brake release, and then on the left side you do have your hood latch release. Above that, also what's standard on this truck are your power adjustable pedals. Moving above that, you have your typical lighting controls and then your light dimmers as well. Up by the vent, you do have these two buttons, which your side mirrors have lights on them, so you can turn them on and off from here. As for your steering wheel, this is a manual adjustable steering wheel. Entering into the Lariat, just like the rest of the truck, it's a pretty clean setup. You've got bits and pieces of plastic and then some soft leather, along with your speaker in the center of the dashboard. As for your center gauge cluster, it's a pretty standard gauge cluster, of course, and you do have your screen in the middle where you have a bunch of different options of the truck that you can have in front of you, and it just makes life so much easier because you don't have to keep looking over at your center screen. You just have everything right in front of you. As for your steering wheel, this is a fully leather wrapped steering wheel, and it is also heated. On the left side of the steering wheel, you've got controls for your center gauge cluster, which I've shown you. Underneath that, you've got controls to set your cruise control settings and all of that. Over on the right side of the steering wheel, you've got your volume controls, and then underneath that, you do have your Bluetooth buttons. Behind the steering wheel on the left side, you've got your typical high beam controls, indicators, and then your windshield wiper controls. Moving over to the right side behind the steering wheel, you've got your gear shifter, along with the different drive mode button as well. Below your shifter area, you've got your typical off-road controls, your 2 high, 4 low, and all of that, along with your standard trailer brake controller that comes with the Lariat. Moving over to the center handrest, it's a fully leather wrapped handrest, which is really nice, and it's actually a decent size. But if you go ahead and open it up, you do have this tray that you can take in and out, and for extra storage as well. But in the actual center console, you have a decent amount of room to put a good amount of stuff because it is pretty deep. In front of the center handrest, you have more space on the left side to put a decent amount of stuff, and then on the right side, you have obviously two cup holders for the front. Something unique that I found with this is that you have kind of this little faceplate up top by the cup holders, and you can move it over to the left to have additional 2 more cup holders. And further up, you have additional storage, which you can kind of tuck away and close the section, along with more USB ports. Above that, you've got your typical heating and cooling buttons, of course, and you also have access to your heated seats and ventilated seats for the front passengers, along with your radio volume controls above that. And next to that, you have another 12-volt adapter along with another plug. And then you can't forget about this nice looking 12-inch touchscreen, which is standard with the Lariat. Ignore the plastic covering on the screen because this is a customer's vehicle, so I didn't really just want to peel it off. And you can actually do a bunch of different things, which I'll show you. So it's a pretty user-friendly system and easy to get used to. You've got your audio section where you have your typical AM, FM, and Sirius XM access. Next to that, you have your phone pairing system, so you can go ahead and pair your phone and all of that. And then you've got this nice looking navigation screen. Under your favorites tab, you have access to put whatever you need to. So if you have a bunch of different applications that you continuously go into, you can just have it here rather than having to look for them. And then of course, under your apps section, here you'll find most of your applications, or you can just search for them. Under your settings tab here, you can fine tune everything about the truck or the system, so you can really make it to your liking. Also, this is kind of like a split screen setup, where on the right side of the screen, you can go through a bunch of different options like your audio, navigation, so you can have it there while you have something else on the bigger main screen. Above your screen, you do have your traction control button and then your camera button as well. So here you can see the camera that I was talking about up top on your brake light. That's the one that you can use to see what's in your bed. And then you've got your typical backup camera, and then you do have kind of like a top view of the truck on the top right corner. Above your buttons, you do have more storage area, and then like I mentioned, your speaker in the center there. Up top, you've got your traditional rear view camera, nothing too special. And further up, you do have more buttons. You've got your rear power sliding window button, and then your interior dome lighting button, and that's pretty much it. Coming over to the passenger side, in your glove department, you do have kind of like a two-section glove department. So you have the main one where you have a decent amount of room, and then you have additional little bit of storage right above that. But if you go ahead and close that, you do have another section which you can open up for additional storage, so a ton of room in your glove department area. And also, if you go ahead and close the secondary glove department area, you kind of have this aluminum matte finish with the Super Duty written on it. As for the key fob, it's a pretty traditional key fob, and this truck is a key ignition truck. You've got your unlock, lock button, and then your panic button. On the back of the key, you just have your Ford logo. As for what powers this Lariat, it's a 7.3 liter V8 engine, and this is your 10-speed automatic transmission. This is going to be giving you 430 horsepower and 475 foot-pound of torque. And in terms of towing with this engine, as well as the standard axle ratio, it's going to give you towing capabilities of about 14,700 pounds when obviously you're equipped properly to tow that much. And here's the window sticker for the 2022 Ford F250 Lariat. Up top, you just got the standard truck information. Below that, you've got your standard equipment for your exterior, interior, and then your functional and safety. Underneath that, you have your optional equipment. Now you can see this has a decent amount of optional equipment, of course, and then you have your pricing at the bottom. Keep in mind, this is in Canadian dollars and minus any dealer discounts or manufacturing discounts being offered. Well, that does it for this 2022 Ford F250 Lariat. Let me know in the comments down below, do you love this or do you hate it?